Some dreams are merely fleeting echoes of daily life, while others unveil glimpses of the future. In 1999, an obscure illustrator from Japan released a peculiar manga, chronicling 15 prophetic dreams she had experienced. One by one, these dreams began to manifest. However, the most unsettling aspect is that the final dream remains unfulfilled. It is predicted to occur at precisely 5:00 a.m. on July 5, 2025. So, what does that dream entail? And why has it captivated readers for more than 2 decades? Let's unravel the enigma in today's video. Brace yourself as we explore this fascinating narrative. But first, if you like and subscribe before this video concludes, your luck may just shift. On July 1st, 1999, an unusual comic book surfaced in Japan. Its title was simple yet laden with deeper implications. The Future I Saw? At that time, it garnered little attention. There were no reasons for its notoriety. It lacked visual appeal, was not created by a famous artist, and received no media attention. Even if someone grazed through it, they would discover a series of bizarre dreams illustrated through pencil sketches, paired with a few brief notes in the margins. It resembled nothing more than a graphic journal, a dream diary brought to life with rough drawings, sometimes chaotic, sometimes obscure, and often so cryptic that their meanings seemed elusive. Yet, more than a decade later, on March 11th, Japan faced a catastrophic earthquake and tsunami that devastated the northeastern region. Over 15,000 lives were lost, and countless others went missing. The world stood stunned as images surfaced of a technologically advanced nation swallowed by the sea. Amidst the confusion and fear, an astonishing discovery emerged, sending shockwaves through Japanese online communities. Someone recalled that long-forgotten comic book, leading to a shocking revelation. 12 years earlier, in one of the dreams recorded, the artist envisioned a scene that eerily reflected the events of March 11th. Seawater surged through the streets, tsunami waves crashed inland, and mysterious numbers like 311 appeared on the cover, seemingly warning of something significant that was yet to be understood at the time. This coincidence was too great and detailed to disregard. Thousands set out to find the comic, flipping through every page, scrutinizing each sketch, and note in the margins, as if searching for a message from the future. Soon, they discovered something even more unbelievable. The book contained a total of 15 prophetic dreams, and according to readers' count, 12.5 of them had already come true. Music When the Future I Saw unexpectedly captured the public's attention post-2011 disaster. The first question on everyone's mind was, who created this work? Yet, as curious eyes turned toward the artist, they were met with only a vague name, a pen name devoid of verifiable information. Nobody knew her identity. Even the publisher's address held no records of her. In a world where almost all information is easily traceable, the fact that someone could remain hidden for over 2 decades added an extra layer of mystery. As Tatsuki's name spread like wildfire, countless fake accounts emerged across social media. Imposters claimed to be the true author, sharing new so-called prophetic dreams and throwing public opinion into turmoil. Some believed it was an elaborate hoax, while others speculated that Tatsuki might not be an individual at all, but rather an organization or, even worse, a construct devised by hidden forces manipulating beliefs. Then in October 2023, just when interest in the manga's prophecies intensified once again, Tatsuki made an unexpected return. She re-released the original book, revealing all crucial details and explanations. The book, still titled The Future I Saw, transformed from a mere compilation of sporadic dreams into an extensive record of her experiences, documented over the years. With her return, Tatsuki divulged some details about herself. Born on December 2, 1954, in Kanagawa Prefecture, she now resides in Yokohama Harbor. Her childhood was unremarkable, sharing similarities with countless other Japanese children from a post-war era. She enjoyed painting, singing, and was thoughtful and sensitive. However, there was one rare gift. Starting at age 9, she began to experience dreams that differed from those of ordinary people. Within these dreams, an old man with silver hair and gentle eyes often appeared beside her. He would whisper to her about events not yet occurred. They wandered together under moonlit skies, his prophetic words revealing their significance years later. The first truly unsettling dream struck her in 1976. On a November night, she dreamt of a man performing under dazzling stage lights, only to collapse beneath the fading glow. The crowd gasped, and she instantly recognized the individual. It was Freddie Mercury, the charismatic lead singer of Queen. In 1976, Freddie Mercury reigned at the pinnacle of his career, radiating health and vibrancy as his voice echoed worldwide. Predicting his death could have drawn ridicule. Instead, Tatsuki quietly sketched her dream and recorded it in her journal. Fast forward 15 years to November 24, 1991, and the world was shaken with the news of Freddie Mercury's passing. News outlets aired special reports, featuring his image on front pages. When Tatsuki reopened her journal, disbelief enveloped her. It marked the first time she felt fear about her dreams not dreams, but something tangible. What sent a deeper chill through her was a documentary segment displaying fans preparing for a biographical film in his honor. In her 1976 journal, a small frame depicted a film crew capturing a scene about a deceased artist. The resemblance was hauntingly precise. Tatsuki struggled to convince herself it was mere coincidence, yet deep down, she understood. Perfect coincidences seldom occur by chance. From that moment, her dreams began coming at an accelerated pace, following an odd timeline. Some unfolded 5 years later, others 10, and some precisely 15 years after their inception. She meticulously documented each detail: settings, sounds, colors, names, times, and accompanying emotions. Another dream surfaced on August 31st, 1992. She found herself walking through a long hallway illuminated by grand windows. At the end of the corridor, a painting of a blonde woman holding a child hung, inscribed with the name Dana. Suddenly, blinding light, metal clashed, and cries erupted. 5 years later, on August 31st, 1997, the world mourned Princess Diana, who had tragically died in a Paris car crash. And yet again, Tatsuki's journal had preemptively documented the moment, captured years before in vivid sketches that haunted her. From 1995 onwards, her prophetic dreams intensified, touching on monumental events, natural disasters, earthquakes, and tsunamis that humanity could not control. This growing urgency compelled her to compile her dreams into a single work. Thus, The Future I Saw was born. Music: One Winter Night in 1995, Tatsuki dreamed of the old man with silver hair yet again. In this vision, he guided her to an unfamiliar land where the earth had split open and the air was thick with dust. Awaking suddenly, she documented the date of her dream, January 2nd, 1995, sketching a ravaged landscape and adding one ominous note. Something will rupture in 15 days. Exactly 15 days later, on January 17th, 1995, the devastating Great Hanshin earthquake, known as the Kobe earthquake, occurred. Nearly 6,500 lives were lost. Tens of thousands of homes crumbled, and Japan, traditionally grounded in order and resilience, faced the ferocity of nature unprepared. At that moment, Tatsuki's doubts shattered. She could no longer dismiss her visions as coincidences. She was convinced the future was signaling her. Convinced that these warnings should not be contained within a private journal, Tatsuki compiled her years of documented dreams and officially published The Future I Saw. However, a puzzling twist occurred post-publication. Immediately after the 1999 release, Tatsuki vanished once more. Perhaps the tale would have ended there, had it not been for one more poignant dream. On a night in July 2021, Tatsuki jolted awake. Rapid breaths filled her lungs. Cold sweat clung to her forehead. In her dream, she found herself standing in a vast field of water beneath a brooding ash-colored sky. The sea south of Japan began to bubble. Suddenly, two massive dragons emerged from the depths, writhing as if tearing the earth's crust. An explosive sound followed. Then, silence, as the land vanished entirely. This dream reflected a buildup of a prior vision from 1999, but this time, it manifested with amplified clarity and violence. The recurring nature of this dream was impossible to disregard. Therefore, in 2023, Tatsuki re-released her book in a more expansive edition, including new dreams and, crucially, a warning. The warning foretold of a looming catastrophe that hadn't occurred yet but was drawing closer. In this vision, she found herself high above the ocean, south of Japan, witnessing a vast, living, three-dimensional map. Initially, the ocean appeared eerily calm, but moments later, enormous bubbles began to rise, revealing signs of an underwater volcano on the brink of eruption. One image remained etched in her memory: the emergence of two colossal dragons twisting beneath the surface. They silently coiled around the center of rising bubbles, guarding something hidden below. Suddenly, a massive column of water erupted, tearing through the sky, unleashing a tsunami beyond comprehension. Tatsuki stood frozen as the waves, 3 times higher than in 2011, slammed toward the coast, dragging dust, vehicles, buildings, and countless people with them. She couldn't recall how she managed to breathe in that dream, only that afterward a new land began to rise. It surfaced gradually, like an ancient entity awakening from a prolonged slumber. Wet soil swirled upwards, forming jagged shapes raw and untouched. At that moment, Tatsuki realized this new land would connect Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and the Philippines into one continuous expanse. In chaos, many consider only endings. Yet in Tatsuki's dream, the end heralded a beginning, a new chapter humanity neither expected nor prepared for. What heightened the eeriness was that Tatsuki pinpointed the exact date of this event: 5:00 a.m. on July 5th, 2025. Aware that many would doubt her, fearing ridicule over superstition, she remained resolute. If only a few among the millions who read her words believed and prepared, perhaps the consequences would not be as dire if her dream materialized. To some, Tatsuki's dream was merely an expression of deep anxiety. However, those who followed her visions since the 1970s knew one truth: her dreams should not be taken lightly. Consequently, a pressing question lingered after the book's reissue, especially with its stark warning about a new landmass. In 2025, could such an occurrence genuinely take place? Surprisingly, too many? The answer is yes. While the likelihood is low, it remains plausible in theory. Japan is located within the Pacific Ring of Fire region where multiple tectonic plates converge, characterized by the world's highest density of underwater volcanoes. These tectonic plates are ever moving, inching forward yearly, generating earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and occasionally creating new land. In 2013, just 500 meters off Nishinoima Island's coast, an underwater volcano erupted, producing an island previously absent from maps. Within months, its area expanded rapidly, merging with the main island and doubling Nishinoima's size. Another instance in 2021 occurred in the Kuril Islands, a disputed territory between Japan and Russia. There, an underwater volcano erupted suddenly. When meteorological experts inspected the area, they discovered a new island formed. These modest occurrences illustrated that Tatsuki's visions were not entirely returning to her 2021 dream of two massive dragons twisting beneath the ocean. Researchers noted an intriguing detail. The dragons' positions in her illustrations align closely with two key tectonic plates. Beneath the Pacific Ocean, the Philippine Sea Plate and the Pacific Plate, the intersection of these plates, the highest likelihood of an underwater volcanic eruption. Under conducive conditions, such eruptions could indeed raise the seafloor, creating new landmass. If one dream left Tatsuki gasping for breath, not from fear, but from the loss it encapsulated, it was the late 90s dream. She documented it in her journal, but only later admitted she was never fully prepared to share it. It wasn't disbelief she feared, rather, the dread of people's powerlessness to respond to it. In that dream, a profound sound roared from deep beneath the earth. So potent was the sound that it coursed through her spine even in slumber, reminiscent of an ancient cry, as if the earth's crust were cracking open elsewhere. She awoke within the dream. The clock read exactly 5 o'clock. There was no way to discern whether it was morning or afternoon. Tatsuki stepped outside, only to discover a world in disarray. The roads lay shattered. Skyscrapers had their lower structures torn apart, as if an invisible hand had plucked entire concrete blocks from the earth. Vehicles were askew, canopies crumpled, and power lines flickered like remnants of a devastated city. Before her stood a grand bridge spanning a river, yet its far end was gone. Around her, desolation reigned. When Tatsuki glanced down, she realized she stood not on solid ground, but on water. The instant she awoke, she felt as if everything had concluded. In her reissuing of The Future, I saw Tatsuki added a note about this dream. I cannot be certain whether this scene reflects the 2011 earthquake, or something far more horrific. She wore a short-sleeved shirt in March, Japan's bitter cold season. This detail sent shivers down many spines. The 2011 tsunami occurred in winter, while her dream's elements suggested summer. In 2025, her dream indeed transpired during the summer months. You may doubt dreams or think the future is unknowable. However, if this story evokes a moment of contemplation, feel free to share your thoughts below. I love engaging with you and delving deeper into the mysteries yet to be unveiled. If you'd like to keep exploring stories like this one, don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.